you have any question to ask or any comment that you'd like to make, you're welcome to stop me in the middle of the lesson just to ask, or to raise a hand just to seek clarity, or to make a comment on a lesson. Now, today's lesson will be based on grade 8 maths, as I've already said, and my name is there, my Twitter account at Hendrik Makanete. And of course, we want to talk today about algebraic expressions as reflected in term 2, week 1. What we are going to do now is simply to expand as well as simplify algebraic expressions. We will simplify these algebraic expressions. I see that there are 2 hands, 2 participants. I'm sure you just joined in. Just to wrap up the introduction, we will simplify algebraic expressions involving monomials, binomials, as well as trinomials. And of course, we will take it from there. Can I get so there are 2 hands. All right. Just to, without any waste of time, algebra simply means the use of symbols as well as numbers to solve mathematical problems, but also to handle a wide range of concepts, just to solve or simplify expressions. So in this case, we are talking here about algebraic expressions. And for the purpose of this lesson, I've chosen distribution as one of the key concepts that we will look at in this lesson. I could have chosen a wide range of other topics, but it is very important that we limit ourselves to concepts that we can be able to work with and fully understand during this lesson. And of course, the word distribute on its own means to spread out. When you distribute, you are spreading out. We have the following scenario here. A plus B, A open bracket, B plus C. We should know at this point that all of us can solve this as A. You multiply your A by B to get AB. And then you bring your addition sign. Again, you multiply A by C to get AC. So basically, what we have done now was to break the bracket. I'm sure you remember the concept of BODMAS. That in BODMAS, the first thing that you need to handle is the bracket. So whenever you have a bracket, you need to break that bracket, and the best way to do that is to do it by multiplying A with the first letter there, which is B, and the second one, C, and then of course take it from there. Let me hear the question. There are 2 participants who have raised their hands. Please ask the question, if you may. Right. I'm not sure if there's a technical problem. I don't see the names. I only see 2 participants whose hands are up. The third one is up as well now. But of course, the second one will be the bracket where there's B minus C. In other words, you've got A into B minus C. And how do you distribute that? You multiply again A by B to get AB, and to multiply A by C to get AC, as reflected in the board. And then, of course, you do the same with the rest. And I see, I wanted to just get the few hands that are up, but I'm unable to come back to you at this stage. Let me just carry on with the lesson for now. I'm sure as we carry on, you'll be able to to ask. Pardon me for that. Now, we have already spoken about the word algebra, which consists of variables or symbols, as well as numbers. So this A, B, and C can represent any number. That is what we mean by a variable. A variable can stand for any number. So as you can see, the principle today is just distribution, where you multiply out the brackets. The first one, we've already multiplied it. A into B plus C will give us AB plus AC. And of course, the next one, A into B minus C, will give us AB minus AC. And of course, that is your lesson, the introduction as we carry on. Now, I've got an example here which I'm going to talk about. We have got 3 multiplied by 25. And if you look at 3 multiplied by 25, if you want to apply the distribution law, you can do so. In other words, as you can see in the screen, you can multiply 3 by 20, meaning that you can have 20 or 25 written as 20 plus 5 when you look at your tens and the units. So 25 is composed of 20 plus 5. So in other words, what you can have, instead of multiplying 3 by 20 and 3 by 25, so you can multiply it by 20 plus 5. You can distribute your 25 into 20 for the tens as well as 5 for the units. Then you can have a bracket there as 3 into 20 plus 5. And when you multiply it out, you stretch it further, then you can have 3 times 20 plus 3 times 5. So that is what you can do in as far as this example is concerned. So that is what we mean when we talk of the distribution of multiplying 3 by 25. And of course, the same goes for the second example. I see that there's people who want to ask questions. Can you please shoot? Can you carry on? Those who have a question, please feel free to ask or feel free to because I can see from my screen there are some hands. Now they are gone. Right. We are coming to the second one, which is 10 multiplied by 56. And this can be written as 10 times 50 plus 10 times 6. But in other words, before you can write it as 10 times 50, where do we get the 50 from? Where do we get the 6 from? It means we have distributed 56 and made it be 50 plus 6. So 56 can be written as 50 plus 6. So in other words, if you are multiplying 10 by 56, then that can be 10 open bracket 50 plus 6, as we have done in the previous example. And what do we get? We can see that now we have got a bracket. I did not necessarily put it there, but can you start there? You can have 10 open bracket 50 plus 6. And what do you do from there? Now you have to use the principle of BODMAS to break the bracket. And how do you break the bracket? Then it will multiply 10 by 50. So you'll have 10 multiplied by 50 plus, again, 10 multiplied by 6. And of course, 10 times 50 gives you 500, and 10 times 6 gives you 60. So which means that at the end of the day, your answer there should be 560. So the results are the same. If you check the first one that we had, when you multiply 3 by 25. Can you see? Who can tell me 3 times 25 is? Correctly, 75. So if you multiply directly 3 times 25, it gives you 75. And when you use the distribution method as well, to have 3 multiplied by 20 plus 3 multiplied by 5. You can see that the result gives us, the first one, 3 times 20 is 60. And 3 times 5 is 50. And when you add 60 and 15, you get the correct answer, which is 75. So those are the 2 ways. The simplest one being using distribution, it can give you an answer. It can take you 2 steps, but you will arrive at the correct answer, as opposed to using the first one where you just multiply once, and sometimes if you don't work better, you can get a wrong answer. So let me restart my video again. Right. I'm sure that we are back again. And let's carry on to the next one. So in the same note, as you can see, we have 10 multiplied by 56, which directly gives us 560, as I've indicated in the previous slide. And the next one, where you apply distribution, you will have 10 times 50 plus 10 times 6. And of course, as I've already said, 10 plus 10 times 50 is 500 plus 10 times 6, which is 60. Again, you get the same answer. So I think that having given you this background, we now have an opportunity to go to the next slide, where we will be able to use the method or to apply it also in some of these activities. As you can see there, I've got a table. I want you to work on this table now, all of us. Please draw that table wherever you are seated. The table consists of about 6 columns and 7 rows, with the unknown there being x. As you can see, 1 represents the value of x. So you've got the value of 3 multiplied by x plus 2. I want us to complete this table in this particular class now. The values of x are, there are 5 different values. The first one is 1, followed by 2, followed by 3, 4, as well as 5. And we are going to substitute that in our different activities there, and let us come up with an answer. I see that there's another hand, but I'm unable to get hold of you. I wonder whether it's technology on our side. I'm just unable to see you. I just see the hands up. Is there any question up to so far? Right. In the absence of questions, I want to carry on with our activity here now. Let's carry on with our activity. And we will have to multiply. We will have to substitute all these values for x. You know, Amanda, somehow I'm unable to get the participants to participate because I see their hands are up. I just don't know what is delaying them. I don't know if it's technology failing them on their side, but I can see them on my side. You can see that there are 3 participants who just raised their hands. You want to come in?
Okay, you can ask a question if you want to.
Start again.
Mute yourself.
Mr. Makaneta, you can ask the students to ask a
Start
question.
again.
All right, students, please feel free to ask any question up to so far, especially based on the lesson that we have had so far. Right. Brenda, you want to speak?
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
So I don't have a question. It's just that I didn't hear anything that you were saying because of the connection. Because you were really going fast, and most of the time the words that you were saying,
We're going to complain.
I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear
Okay,
anything.
students, if you have a question, please
Okay.
ask, sir.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Beverly now. Beverly, come in, Beverly.
Okay.
Yes?
No, so I just wanted to say that I couldn't hear anything that you were saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will repeat that. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Carry on. I'm just going to go back just a few slides back. I hope that I will be more clearer now to all the students. Beverly was just saying that she couldn't hear clearly. I am talking here about algebraic expressions. And before we can get into the examples, I spoke about the different symbols or algebraic expressions that you can use. The first one being A into B plus C is equal to, then you break the bracket. How do you break the bracket? You multiply A by every variable that is inside the bracket. So the first one is that you've got A into B plus C and close bracket. And what is the first step to do there? The first step is that you need to multiply A by the first variable and thereafter bring the addition sign and multiply A by the last variable, because you've got two variables basically inside the bracket. And this means that A multiplied with B will give you AB. And A multiplied with C will actually give you AC. I hope it makes sense now. I hope that this is audible. And the second one, of course, is A into B minus C. And of course, as you can see the answer there, how did we get to that answer? Again, using the BODMAS, in other words, you're breaking your bracket. You need to multiply A times B, which will give you A, B. And thereafter, carry on to bring the minus sign or the negative sign and multiply A by C to get AC. So our final answer there is AB minus AC. And of course, this is what distribution is all about, because you are spreading out your variables. Initially, you had just one term, if you remember, a monomial. A monomial means you only have one term. You had one term which was A into B plus C. And now you have got two terms, and those two terms are AB and AC. So you have used the distribution method to get to where we are now, AB plus AC. And we've done the same again with A into B minus C to get AB minus AC, where A, B, and C can represent any number. Now, I've spoken about the examples that we've just done here, where you multiply 3 by 25. And of course, if you want to distribute it, so you can write 25 as 20 plus 5. Then automatically you bring that into a bracket, and outside you'll have a 3. So you are multiplying 3 by 20 plus 5. So in other words, 3 times 25 can also be written as 3 times 20 plus 5 inside bracket. You understand what I mean? And thereafter, you go straight to the next step, which would be 3 times 20 plus 3 times 5. Perhaps if I can just stop there, just to include this particular step that I'm talking about. So I'm saying it will be 3 and then open bracket 20 plus 5. So this is the step that I'm talking about. I'm sure you can see the step that I've just highlighted there. Can everybody see it? That is the step that I'm talking about, where you are now distributing 25 and by making it 20 and 5. So that is the step that you will have. And of course, the same goes for the next one where you multiply 10 by 56. So you can have 10, and then open bracket 50 plus 6. And then of course you can close your bracket. So you have now distributed 56 by making it 50 plus 6. And thereafter you break your bracket by multiplying out. And of course, this will take you directly to an answer which we find as a result of distribution. That is what we are talking about. And of course, in the same note, you'll see that 10 multiplied by 56 will give you 560. And of course, even if you use distribution where you have 10 times 50 plus 10 times 6. 10 times 50 there gives you 500. And of course, 10 times 6 gives you 60. And I hope that you are looking at your screen now. And of course, the final answer will be 560. Now, without any waste of time, I want us to look at the first one. Let's look at the first one here, which is 3 into x plus 2. I want us to use that algebraic expressions to find the answers when x is 1, when x is 2, when x is 3, and when x is 4 and 5 as well. Just substitute all of those x values into the first one, into this first algebraic expression, that is 3 into x plus 2. And I will appreciate if someone can just raise up a hand and tell me what the answer will be for the first one when x is equal to 1. Just tell me. Yes, let me recognize. I see there are many hands. Coronas, let's start with you. Yes, Coronas. Okay, Jendra. You can just give me an answer. Just tell me what will be the answer when x is 1, when you substitute 1 into pages.
5.
Okay, do you want to attempt that? All right. So you multiply 3 into x plus 2.
So that one is 9.
Come again?
9.
You get 9. And now,
Yes.
can you tell us how did you get 9? Can you tell us how did you get 9? Just explain to us how did you get 9? Okay, let's go to Tobekile. Tobekile Vilakazi.
Yes.
How did you get 9, Tobekile? Did you also get 9?
Yes.
Yeah, just tell me, how did you get 9? What did you do to get 9?
If x equals 1, then 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 in a bracket means 3 times 3, which makes 9.
Exactly. So x is 1, then you'll have 1 plus 2, which is 3, and multiplied by 3 gives you 9. Can we go to the second one? So the first answer there will be 9 on the same algebraic expression. So thank you very much indeed, Tobekile. You got that one right. Do you want to perhaps attempt, or let's give another child a chance? Let's go to Coronas again. If x is 2, can you tell us how much you get? Coronas?
Yes?
Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, it's Quirinus.
Okay, please go ahead. Can you tell me what is the value of the expression if x is 2?
Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
What is the value of the expression? The 3 open bracket x plus 2. What is the value of that expression if x is 2?
Go. I'm not sure. I don't understand.
I want you to substitute 2. Where there is x, I want you to put 2. So I want you to put 2 where there's x, and then solve the expression. Give me the value of the expression. Are you with me, Coronas? You can work it out as fine. And let me just go to the last participant. Amy. Can we go to Amy? Amy, are you there? Amy? We seem to have lost Amy. Let's go to the last one. Can you tell us? Trying to unmute you. Okay, fine. Can you hear me? Okay, fine. Let's carry on now. Obviously, when you multiply 3 by 2 plus 2, when you substitute x as a value of 2 there, you'll have 2 plus 2, which is 4. 4 times 3 is 12.
12.
12.
Does it make sense? Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Tuehazen. Thank you very much indeed. Now, basically, I'm giving you this particular activity so that you can understand the relationship between the numbers and the variables. It is very important to begin this a particular activity. All right, I see there are many hands now. I don't know who must we talk to now. Can we get another addition here? Let me see.
Sir?
Yes.
Can I just make sure with you? At the first one, it says 3, then it's a bracket x plus 2. Ne?
Yes. Yes.
So let's say number 3. So when it's a 3, you put the 3 in the x.
Exactly.
Then you say 3 plus 2 is 5, and then
you multiply that 5 by 3, which
3.
is outside the bracket.
So you multiply 3 by 5.
Yes, exactly.
So
you'll
the answer
multiply
is
3 by
15.
Yes, exactly. So you'll get 15. All right, does it make sense?
Okay.
Who is talking now?
Excuse me?
What's your name again?
Quirinus.
All right, Kurinas, can you,
Yes.
now that you've answered the first one, can you use 5 now? I want you to use 5 as the variable. I want you to substitute 5. Can you substitute 5 now?
Okay, so you use 5, so it is 5 plus 2 is 7. Then they multiply 3 by 7. So that's 21.
Exactly.
Okay.
Kurinas. That is correct. So you'll have 5 plus 2, which is 7, and then 3 times 7 is 21. Definitely, that is the correct answer. Now I want us to leave the first expression there to go to the fourth one. Let's go to the fourth expression there. That will be row number 5 from X.
Okay.
The expression.
Mm-mm.
3
No.
minus 3 into x minus 2. Okay.
Okay.
I want you to substitute the value of 4 there. Let x be 4. And
Okay, so,
3.
yes,
That's 12.
sorry.
The answer is 10.
you got 10.
Yes.
What is that 10?
No. The fourth one.
The fourth one is 3 into x minus 2.
So x must be 4, ne?
Yes, x must be 4.
So 4 minus 2 is 2, and then 3 multiplied by 2 is 6.
Exactly.
Not
Now
10.
you have the expression correct. So 4 minus 2 will be 2, and 2 multiplied by 3 will be 6. So yes, the correct answer will be 6. Can I
Okay.
just have the last two learners? I see that there are many hands. Let's go to Nikita now. Nikita, welcome.
Hello.
How are you, Nikita?
Good, thanks, and you, sir?
Fine, thank you very much indeed. Nikita, I want you to use the last expression, 3x minus 2, the bottom one. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I want you to use x as a value of 5. I want you to substitute 5 there in that expression and give me the answer.
5 minus 2, 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, sir.
Okay, Nikita, which expression are you using? Is it the last one?
Yes, sir.
So
Okay.
I have a question.
Nikita, can you quickly mention the expression for all of us so that we know we're talking about the right expression? What is the expression?
So it's 3x minus 2.
Exactly,
X
that's the expression.
is-
Now that you have the expression correct, can you substitute the value of x? When x is 5, what will be the value of the expression? When x is 5, can you substitute 5 there in the expression?
Then it's 5 minus 2 equals 3, and 3 divided by 3 is 1.
Okay, we will come back. Just hold it there, Nikita. I hope that you will be listening. I just want to go to someone who may want to, just correct the misconception there. Because you say 5 minus 2 is 3, and thereafter you divided 3. But I think there's no division sign there. Do you agree with me that we don't have any division sign on the expression?
Sir,
Do you want to retry, or can I get another learner maybe to come? Let's go to, I don't see your name. I just see Q60, but I can't see your name. What's your name?
My name is Mishka.
Mishka, welcome to the class.
Hi,
You want to
sir.
start?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, can you substitute the value of 5 there in the last expression?
The expression 3x minus 2, sir.
You say 3x minus 2?
So x would be 5, so 5 times 3 equals 15, minus 2 is 13.
Exactly. So as you can see, the last expression, people, the class as a whole, the last expression is different from the previous one. In a sense that
sir,
you have got 3x minus 2. So in other words, in this case, you only have, instead of a monomial, you have a binomial now. You've got an expression which has got 2 terms. The first term is 3x, and the second term is -2. Yes?
can you put the video of me on? I just want to ask you something.
Okay. Who's
The
speaking
video.
now? Come
It's
again?
Corina.
All right, I'm
I was
trying to find, there are too many learners here.
Um,
Let me go back to your,
I don't understand the last one. It says 3x minus 2.
yes?
So if x is 3, so then you say 3 minus 2, and then that is 1. So you say 3 multiplied by 1.
No, no. This is entirely different from the previous one, as I've just indicated. You can see that this one, there is no bracket here.
Yes.
You only do that once you have got a bracket. But without
Okay.
a bracket, you just substitute as it is. In other words, you will have 3 times 5 directly. And what is 3 times 5?
Oh, so 3 times 5 is 50. So you minus 2.
Minus 2. And then the answer will be 30.
30.
Can you get that?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you,
Does it
sir.
make sense? Okay.
Yeah, now I
I'm just
understand now.
taking the last. Can I take the last learner maybe on this activity? Nobuhlem Caesar. Nobuhlem Caesar, are you there? Nobuhlem Caesar. I think we lost Nobuhlem. But be that as it may, we have to find a way of practicing these activities on a daily basis to make sure that we understand the relationship between numbers and variables. So without any waste of time, I'm just going to, I see that there are participants, but you don't appear to be, I'm sure our time also is not on our side. But I think what you can do, you can proceed to do the entire exercise, the activity with different expressions there. Just substitute each value of x, and then find the answers. And perhaps in our next activity, before we can carry on, we can just look at just mark this activity, and then it'll be quicker for all of us. Now, to be clear at this point, that when I began the lesson, I said that the distributive property means that you are spreading out your product. Another example is there. We have got 2 multiplied by 12. And of course, you can write 12 as 10 plus. So in the same note as I did there, you can actually put it as follows. This 2 multiplied by 12, you can write 2, just open bracket, 10 plus. So you can write 12 as a sum of 10 and 2. And of course, the next step is to now break your bracket. And of course, 2 times 10 plus 2 times 2. And of course, 2 times 10 is 20. 2
Plus
times
2
4. And when you add
20,
that together, you get
24.
24. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Can we proceed?
Yes.
Now, I have come up with a video, which I have just put there on the screen, so that if you want to do more of these activities, you can visit the video link that I've provided in the screen, and it will help you to do as many activities as you can as you prepare yourself for this new term and 2. It will help you a great deal. Once again, I just want to emphasize the importance of practice. In mathematics, practice is very important. Just like any person who wants to be a soccer star, they practice all the time to be the best. So again, you need to make sure that you practice as much as you can. I see that we have some participants, but I'm not so sure, Amanda, if we still have enough time maybe to take further questions.
I don't think there's any questions.
Okay. Can we say that, let me invite you to our next lesson, where we will determine the squares, the cubes, the square roots, as well as the cube roots of algebraic expressions. In our next lesson tomorrow, we can look at all of those, the squares, the cubes, the square root, as well as the cube roots of algebraic terms. I'm sure that we'll have an exciting lesson. It's most unfortunate that we have run out of our time, which was allocated to be about 30 minutes, I believe. And if you all agree, Come again?
So when is the lesson tomorrow? How late?
Next lesson will be tomorrow at this time at 11.
Okay, sharp. Thank you.
Yeah, so until we meet, thank you very much indeed. I apologize that we could not take all the hands that were raised due to time, but I wish you all the best as you practice in order to create a better future for yourselves. Thank you very much indeed. For more
Thank you,
information,
sir.
of course, you can reach me out on 082, maybe via WhatsApp, 082 623 2148.
Can you say it again? Sorry, can you say that again, sir? 082
623
623, yes,
2148.
2148. Thank you, sir.
Yes, for further questions. So thank you to the rest of the class until we meet again tomorrow. Have a nice day.
See you tomorrow, sir.